All right, next I got the Carolina Panthers, and this is definitely a team that a lot of people saw last year as the worst team in football. Definitely a team that doesn't seem like they're getting their things together and they're moving in the wrong direction. But I'm seeing it as a sophomore year for Bryce Young to explode and prove to everyone why he was the number one pick, why he was chosen that way, um, as well as the opportunity for them to build off of a down year. You'd rather be at the bottom level and continue to progress every year. That way, you see the growth and the improvement. Than have a pretty good year and then decline. It's sad to decline because you think, damn, what are we doing wrong? What do we have to do for this roster to be contenders or even not contenders, but just to progress and become a better team to eventually be a playoff team and contender and whatnot. Um, and I think Carolina's moving in the right direction with their management. They're moving in the right direction with the new coach. They're moving in the right direction with the development of Bryce Young. They're trying to get people around him so he can succeed. So there is that. So before we get to that, let's look at the really horrid year that was the Panthers' year last year. They were 2-15. They were 32nd in passing yards with 161.2 passing yards a game. They were 20th in rushing yards with 104.1 a game. They were 32nd in points for. They scored the average of 13.9. They're also 29th in points against. They allowed 24.5 points a game. So not great on both sides of the football. They were 2-6 at home. They were 0-9 away, 1-5 in their division. Scored 236 points, gave up 416. So again, tough year, man. But like I said, upside on the rise. That's always a good thing. And we take a look at the Carolina Panthers offense. Three wide receiver, one tight end set. We start with the left tackle, Ikuno. It's a trusted process kind of guy. Definitely a young left tackle. Definitely can improve. Definitely, I think, will improve. It's a good start, man. It's young. They're all young. They're gonna get better with time. At the left guard, honorable mention, Damian Lewis. Uh, Coming to Carolina, fixing that interior offensive line. I think that's a good thing. I think that's great that they have him there. Um, at the center position, they got a veteran in Austin Corbett. Again, not really knowing too much about the guy, but again, veteran presence is good, especially for a team that's trying to identify the identity there. At the right guard, they had a great signing, getting Robert Hunt at right guard. I believe Damian Lewis, Hunt, that's a great improvement in their interior line. That's fantastic for them. And they're only going to get better, with time. At the right tackle, a young upside right tackle and Taylor Moton. I think Moton's going to be good as well. I think him and Iquonu, if they can get to where they need to go, this could be one of the best, tackle duos in the league eventually, So I know they're working towards it. I think they have a lot to look forward to with that. Um, Bryce Young is the QB, of course. Trust the process with him. I know he had a bad year, but he was on a terrible team. Unlike C.J. Stroud, who I feel like had a better understanding, but also had a little bit more help. So Bryce Young, trust the process with him. At the running back position, you got Chuba Hubbard, who's not bad. I mean, he's a decent player. Definitely a secondary kind of back. Powerful running back. I believe once Jonathan Brooks comes back from injury, though, he's a great draft pick for him. I think he's going to do wonders for him. So we're going to see a good running back there for Carolina and Jonathan Brooks whenever he's ready. At the wide receivers position, you got Deontay Johnson, who they got from free agency, who I think is a really good pickup for him. Adam Thielen, who's an honorable mention for the receivers. He had a great year. He's still having a great year, so he's still doing his thing. And I think that's a very big positive, especially for Bryce Young, having, uh, kind of wideouts and weapons to work with, Johnson and him. And then Mingo, who's young, definitely unproven, definitely going to try to be a better fit for this offense. And at the tight end, Tommy Tremble, again, not bad. Nothing in terms of, nothing super flashy, nothing super like, oh, whoa, who is this guy? But again, still a pretty good tight end for now. Young, he's going to prove it. Um, with the defense, they have a 3-4 base. At the D end, Ashawn Robinson, he's a veteran. He's been here before. He's He's been on Detroit for a long time. Nothing too amazing, but again, good presence for veteran presence is nice. D tackle Tuttle. I mean, he's not the answer. Obviously, they're gonna have to get an actual uh, elite D tackle, or just put Brown eventually back to D tackle and get an elite DN. But right now, Tuttle's he's a filler to me. He's still decently young, so he could still do a lot of things. And the D end is going to be Derek Brown. He moved. He was six as a defensive tackle. He had a great year. Signed a huge contract, so he should be ready to go. And I think he's obviously going to make a huge impact for the defense. When you look at the linebackers, you got DJ Wonham coming from Minnesota now over here. He's young. I think he's hungry to do better. I think he's going to do better. And he's a guy that you need to look at. When you look at the left inside linebacker, you got Shaq Thompson, another veteran leader. Um, Great intangibles. I mean, great, intent, like definitely great instincts with the football around it. Definitely going to be a huge leader, probably the captain of the defense. Um, Definitely is not shying away from making plays, as well as the right out inside, Josie Jewell coming from Denver. He's a great tackling machine. He's going to do better. He's going to make this defense a lot cleaner in terms of making those pivotal tackles and pivotal downs to make sure that the defense gets off of the field, bringing in Bryce Young so he can get more touches, right? Um, and then on the other side, Jadavian Clowney, veteran journeyman. I mean, he does do well. Like he does definitely bring an impact to the team. Did it in Baltimore. I think he's going to do it here. Again, you're not expecting huge, crazy numbers, but he really is a guy that is good at the edge, and I think that it's going to bring some good pass rush and blitzing. He's just going to bring some fire to the defense. So then we go to the secondary, and we got Michael Jackson, who's came from Seattle. Another signing again. They were really busy on getting some guys. He's a young guy that did really well in Seattle, was good at rotation. Now he's actually going to start, so that's going to be a different vibe, different flow. We'll see how that goes. I believe that, he's got the ability of doing well. But again, you're going to have to trust the upside and the growth from him. And on the other side, J.C. Horn, I mean, that's their guy. Young, he's improving every year. I think he's going to be great this year, and they should be lucky to have this guy. I think he's going to do wonders for the team. At the nickel, Troy Hill, he's a veteran presence. He's not, like I said, anything special, but veteran leadership is always great, especially on different positions. Almost at every position that they got some veteran presence. That's always nice. Um, at the safeties, free safety, Xavier Woods. I mean, honestly, pretty good year. Good player in terms of can do a little bit of everything, and again a veteran. So some older gentleman with the voice in the locker room can try to get these guys pumped. And strong safety, getting Jordan Fuller from the Rams, really good signing. Definitely a guy that you want to look at. Definitely a guy that needs to be looked at, and I believe he was honorable mention. So overall, that is nice. That is a nice upgrade for him. Kicker is going to be Eddie Pinheiro, who's not bad. Johnny Hecker, who's been the best punter before in the league, and then a kick returner, Blackshear, who I don't really know much about, but he's going to be pretty good. So we'll see how it goes. Overall, this is a lot of improvements, a lot of signings, and yeah, I mean, for a team that definitely dropped the ball with the picks, they definitely made it up for it with getting these signings and getting these free agents that were veterans that can actually turn around a locker room. So overall, the Panthers do have something to look forward to. They should be super excited on where they're turning, and it's kind of just trusting the process to build in the culture, man. And it's looking good. It's looking a little bit brighter now in Carolina, for sure. taking a look at the Panthers' schedule. Um, Again, green arrow means wins. Um, this is a team that was 2-15, man. So this is not a great schedule for them. Uh, Based on the fact that they're just all over the place. Yeah, they're like I said, trusting the process. These games will definitely showcase like what they can do through adversity, what they can do through like the toughest of opponents, and you know it's a good thing for them to kind of bring them all these tough matchups, some of the best teams in the league, and kind of see what do we got to work on, and what we're doing well at, and where we see this future being, the pros and cons of it, and what do we need for the draft, what do we need for free agency, et cetera, et cetera. So, again, it's not a great schedule based on their talent and their unquestioned stuff, but or unanswered stuff, but it is good because it kind of gives them growth, even more growth than before. It's just nice just to see that. So anyway, so looking at the Panthers schedule, again, 2-15. At New Orleans, week one. We already said in the other preview that New Orleans is going to win, so they're going to take the L there. Against the Chargers in Carolina, Chargers are a better team. Chargers will win that game, so loss for Carolina there. Uh, they're going to lose to Vegas. We've already done the preview, so they're going to lose to Vegas. Cincinnati, it's the Bengals, so they're going to lose to the Bengals in Carolina. Then they'll go travel to Chicago. The Bears will beat them. I think they got a better chance at getting these kinds of games. They built their entire team around Caleb Williams super well, and yeah, they're going to be a team that leapfrogs, but that's because of the type of free agents and the type of draft picks and everything that has just accumulated from them this offseason. Um, Atlanta is another team invested really well in the offseason. They're definitely going to lose to Atlanta. Definitely, even in Carolina. So you're looking at those first 5 games. You're looking at it 0-5. So you're like Carolina fan. You're like, oh, here we go. We're just gonna be worse than it is. No. So this is where it comes down to it. I think they will beat Washington in Washington. I think Bryce. This will be a great Bryce Young game because he's playing a rookie in Jaden Daniels. I think he'll outduel Jaden Daniels in that game. I do believe that the defense is going to show up. I do believe that the Carolina team itself will show up for that game. I think they'll be motivated. They'll win that game. Then they're going to go play Denver at Denver against another rookie QB. This is Bryce Young kind of showcasing and kind of trying to imprint his name into the QBs of the NFL. He doesn't want to get beat by 2 rookie QBs back to back. He's not going to. I believe Carolina will beat Denver. Um, so then after that, New Orleans again. They will lose to New Orleans there. Then against the Giants, Daniel Jones is not the answer at QB. Their team looks super questionable. So yeah, I believe Carolina will get this one for sure. Beat the Giants, have their bye. So they got 3 wins. They've already exceeded what last year had. Then comes some growing pains. They're gonna lose to the Chiefs. They're gonna lose to the Bucks. They're gonna lose at Philly. They're gonna lose against Dallas. They will win against Arizona. Um, it's in Carolina. I just believe that their team could just edge out Arizona, and I believe that that is the case. They're also a building project. I think Carolina just I think Bryce Young will have a good game. I think by that time, hopefully Jonathan Brooks will get in the game. I think they'll have a good game. I think that Derek Brown will explode. But overall, I think I have more confidence in them winning that game. Then lose to Tampa, and they will in a Week 18 matchup surprise a lot of people. But I think Atlanta is going to be one of those teams that's going to be in the hunt to win the South. I think by that time they probably can win the South, just because I think that overall their team seems like between them and the Bucks, I think the Falcons have the edge. So I think Atlanta might be resting their starters for the playoffs by that time, and I just believe Carolina is going to want to end up on a high note. I think they're going to shock it. I think they're going to pull that upset, beat Atlanta, and have a record of 5-12. 5-12. That is a great, great progress for him from 2-15 to 5-12. 3 game win difference. That's great. That's going to be something they look forward to the off season and try to get even better. Try to get up to 9 wins, or try to get to 8 wins, something. But this is good progress for Carolina fans. I don't believe that Carolina fans should be too discouraged. I definitely believe Bryce Young will have a good year, and he will definitely be writing some critics off that believe that he is a bust, because he is not. Just did not have enough help. I believe that there's a good enough help where they can make a difference this year. So that's where I'm at. 5-12 for them. Not bad. They're getting better.